All right, what's going on, guys? Jeff here. Today's Tuesday. I just got home from work. Right now it's like 8:30. I just finished doing some of my paperwork. But anyway, let's be honest. In today's news, it's mostly going to be talking about the biggest news that we're going to be having for quite some time, which is Elon Musk buying over Twitter at $54.20 per share. Finally, Twitter actually gave way and then allowed Elon Musk to buy over Twitter at $44 billion at a valuation, which is quite crazy because if you actually take 2022 earnings of Twitter, which most likely will be coming out on Thursday, this is 75.2 times. 75 times of earnings. Okay. If you're talking about Netflix, you're basically paying about 20 times of earnings. You're talking about Facebook, you're paying about 15 times of earnings. You're talking about Tesla, you're paying about 35 times of earnings. You talk about Alphabet, you're paying 15 times of earnings. So yeah, basically, if you are saying that this is not an overvalued purchase by Elon Musk, I don't know what is, honestly, because this is a very, very overvalued purchase, and I do think that this is a good deal for both sides because Elon Musk definitely really wants Twitter, and I think that Twitter definitely earned a lot out of it. We're gonna be going into more details of this whole thing as well. So anyway, let's cover some news today. All right, so Twitter accepts Elon Musk offer to buy the company in a $44 billion deal. But this is not only it, because the big thing about this whole entire news is that first of all, you have to also take into account that CEO Parag Agrawal got paid $42 million if he is going to be terminated, aka he's gonna get paid for doing a bad job. Mind blown. Secondly, Jack Dorsey clearly loves the fact that this is going to be happening because Jack Dorsey owns about 2% of Twitter. So he's going to be about $1 billion richer after this whole entire thing happens. Thirdly, you have to also take into account that a lot of people are actually starting to say that, the board of directors are actually thinking about quitting because, before they actually get fired and things of that nature. I do think that it's going to be very interesting for us to really see what Elon Musk is going to do. As of tomorrow, I believe Elon Musk, if the deal actually goes past, because the thing is that as of now, Twitter is just basically saying that it works. But of course, if the White House comes to intervene or the SEC comes to intervene, then there's the possibility that this whole situation, this whole deal would actually fall through. But if the White House or the SEC do not intervene and this deal goes as per usual, everything will be according to the black and white. So let's hope that is actually what's going to be happening. So yeah, pretty interesting because he said, I hope that even my worst critics remain on Twitter because that is what free speech means. The billionaire who is also blah 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 has a record of challenging convention in this disparate industries. Twitter, blah blah blah. Okay. Do they actually say something about the 42 million? Because I thought that was actually quite interesting. Okay, yeah. So anyway, make it difficult. Change his posture after Elon Musk the detailed elements of his financing plan for the takeover. He said that he had $46.5 billion in funding lined up. Twitter shares rose sharply. All right. So honestly speaking, my own thoughts about this. You'll be surprised because on Thursday, when Twitter releases their earnings, I'm just gonna say that they're gonna miss by I don't know 10% on their earnings, on their EPS, their top line, bottom line, revenue, gross margin, everything. I do think that Twitter's gonna be missing like crazy for this earning report, which is also one I would believe that this is a very very strong motivational pushing factor for Twitter to actually go on with the deal. My own thought, I think that would make the most sense for Twitter to actually go through with the deal if they actually go through, because they probably already know how bad their earning is, and I think that it's not just going to be Twitter. What I am very very concerned about is for Snapchat, which I have a huge position in, because the things that Snapchat is most likely going to be affected by what Twitter is going to be going through. But of course, Snapchat already went through with their own earnings, so I don't think that that's going to be that big of an issue. But of course, I do think that there will always be some form of a sympathy play with Twitter with Snapchat, with your Pinterest, with your Facebook and such. So yeah, very, very interesting. All right, anyway, that's basically it. Honestly, I don't want to make a very, very long news because I'm very, very tired today. So I'm going to move on to the next news, okay? So Russia warns of nuclear war risk as Ukraine talks go on. So this is, of course, very, very concerning. Again, because Russia is talking about nuclear war again, which is why Occidental basically went up. Well, not really a lot, by like 1%, or about 1% in pre-market, because basically people are thinking that there is a good chance that if nuclear war happens, war is going to continue to prolong in the whole region again. One, there are serious risks of nuclear war over Ukraine, even as he signaled the Kremlin is willing to talk to the US to try to resolve the confrontation. The danger is serious, real, it can't be underestimated. It would be useful to hold discussion with the US too, but we don't observe any interest on their part regarding contacts on Ukraine or on any or on other issues. Both sides has said that the talks are at a dead end. So yeah, basically, I think that because Russia definitely want to take over the whole East Donbass area. Right now, they already tried to liberate. They successfully liberated the Mariupol area. I do think that they probably want Kharkiv and Kiev, because once Russia actually take over Kharkiv and Kiev, okay, I don't think they're going to be taking over Kiev, because if they do take over Kiev, basically Ukraine lost. But I do think that they probably want Kharkiv and the Donbass area. I think that is what Russia is trying to pull off a deal for Ukraine, and I do think that Ukraine only wants to give away the eastern Donbass area. I think that is as far as the talks are going to go. Okay, but of course, same thing, not war advice. I don't know. Okay, I'm not even a war leader of any sort. I'm not even a leader at all. But so I do think that that's kind of what is happening, which is why they're kind of meeting at dead ends. They do not know what is going to be happening. Negotiations are definitely going to be failing for the time being. So yeah, I do think that there is a very, very good possibility for Russia to actually enter into nuclear war if Ukraine continue to refuse Kharkiv. I do think that is a possibility. But of course, I'm not really reading into the fine print of what is actually being said, because I don't think that this is actually public information either. This is just from my own personal opinion, what I think would be the case. Right. Next up, Jack Dorsey says that Elon Musk is a singular solution I trust to run Twitter. Of course, it's the same thing. Basically, just how Jack Dorsey is talking about how Elon Musk is going to definitely be helping Twitter, make Twitter a better protocol where it's not a company, where it's an actual solution in the real world. But of course, this is coming from Jack Dorsey, who's going to be $1 billion reacher after this whole entire acquisition. So I don't really think that's going to matter as much. All right, by the way, honestly speaking, that's all the news that we really have. So instead of me actually going through the news, I'm going to go through a bit of the earnings that we are going to be probably having. All right, so today we're going to be having Microsoft, we're going to be having Alphabet, we're going to be having Visa. Okay, we're going to having PepsiCo, which it already went through earlier. We're going to have GE, which already went through. 3M, which has already went through. UBS, interesting. GM, I think GM is going to be an interesting number for us to really look at as well. Simply because from the automobile point of view, I do want to see how far did Tesla actually beat GM by. Going to be an interesting one. I think everything else below is mostly going to be small caps. We do have Enphase as well. Yeah, Enphase is going to be interesting as well, because I do think that Enphase is going to be a huge play on solar. And of course, because as what we have actually seen with Tesla's earning, solar definitely isn't really doing as well this quarter. So Enphase might be a little bit interesting for us to really look at. If Enphase actually drop hugely in this earning, if I do see Enphase at about $120, I would definitely be interested in getting more Enphase. However, if Enphase, which I honestly think 70% of the chance Enphase is going to be going up, if Enphase do go up, it's probably going to go to about $180, $190. But this is not really a bet that I'm willing to take, because honestly speaking, right now, earnings is so hard for us to really play properly anyway. All right, so let's look at tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think, is more interesting, because tomorrow we have Facebook, which is Meta Platforms. Afterwards, we have Boeing. We got PayPal. We got Equinix. Okay, Equinix is boring anyway. We got Ford Motors. Ford Motor. Okay, Ford Motor is going to be interesting for us. And then I think we don't have anything else, right? Okay, okay, Spotify. Nothing interesting. Let's move to then afterwards, the day after, we have Apple, Amazon, Mastercard, Merck, McDonald's. Oh my, Caterpillar. Okay. And do we have anything else? Twitter. Yeah, that Twitter. That's gonna be happening as well. So yeah, I do think that this week earning is definitely going to be a very, very big thing for us, because a lot of the important tech companies are going to be reporting their earnings in this week. So definitely want you to keep your eyes peeled for those earnings. You're going to see huge market movement happening in this week, especially. Of course, but I don't think that that is new information for anyone at all, because I do think that earnings in general have always been huge movement in the price momentum side of things as well. So yeah, but I do think that today is definitely going to be important with your Microsoft, Alphabet, Visa. Very, very interesting stuff. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I don't want to keep this longer, and honestly, I just want to rest. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching.